into Dome at Home Live, presented by FedEx, where your New Orleans Saints at 6-2 get set to take on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Caroline Gonzalez here with John DeShazier here outside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And on Dome at Home Live today, you'll get an exclusive one-on-one breakdown with Ben Watson and his son Isaiah. We'll also have an exclusive one-on-one interview with rookie Marquez Callaway. Now, folks, we will be giving you inside looks inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome all show long, including our player warm-ups presented by FedEx. So don't worry, you will not miss out on any of the action. But first things first, let's get into our countdown to kickoff presented by Waiter JD. Today's game is all going to be off building of the momentum last week against the Bucks. This 49ers team has established the run offense. How did the Saints defense build off of containing the run offense?
Well, fortunately for the Saints, their strength running the ball is the Saints' strength defensively, stopping the run. So you feel like the Saints are going to be able to take that away. They've taken it away from every other team they've played this year. You figure they'll take it away this game. What they want to do, though, is mindful of Nick Mullins, the quarterback. There's not a lot of film on him. There's some, but not a lot. So he's a guy who's a little bit more mobile than Tom Brady was last week. He'll be able to move around a bit. He might be able to keep the pass rush at bay a little bit better than Tom Brady was. So it'll be critical for those guys in the secondary to cover even longer this game, because you've got a quarterback who can buy a little bit of time.
And you talked about that secondary, you talked about this pass rush. Both units did fabulous last week against the Bucks. Let's start with the pass rush. Trey Hendrickson really stood out for this Saints team. He's been standing out all season, let's be honest, but especially last week against Tom Brady with 2 sacks. How does this pass rush build off of what they did last week?
Well, simple. Keep doing what you're doing. They've got a good rotation going. Trey Hendrickson, 7.5 sacks. Marcus Davenport has came back and really given them a boost on the defensive line. And you've got Cam Jordan. Those are your defensive ends. Those guys rotate. You keep them fresh. Inside, David Onyemata is having a monster year, collapsing the pocket. So you keep all those guys fresh on the defensive line. You'll be able to get the pass rush. But again, if you're San Francisco, you want to do it on timing. Get the ball out of Nick Mullins' hands fast. So it might be a game where the Saints defenders have to get their hands up on the defensive line, maybe bat a couple of balls, and try to get Nick Mullins to pull it down and hold it for a couple of counts longer.
And what's the game plan for the secondary? Because we saw them have an outstanding performance last week against the Bucks. Mike Evans, we need to name every receiver that this team goes against Mike Evans, because they did fantastic. How does this secondary contain this 49ers offense?
Simple. Concentrate. Stay on task, because this secondary has had a tendency, and especially some of the players, of letting down when they see certain teams or not seeing certain star receivers. So you got to stay on task. You can't look at San Francisco's receiving core and say, oh, I don't know those guys, so I'm going to lighten up a little bit today. They're in the NFL. They're quality receivers. So if Marshawn Lattimore and Jack Rabbit Jenkins and C.D. Deuce and the rest of that crew play the way they played against Tampa Bay, against Mike Evans and Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin, they will have a good day, but they've got to have the concentration level on max.
All right, we'll have more analysis and breakdown as we continue through Dome at Home Live, so make sure you stay tuned. Don't forget, Saints fans, you can watch today's game this afternoon at 3:25 p.m. on Fox, presented by Community Coffee, so make sure you tune in.
But for now, let's check in with Saints fans who are gearing up for this game with a black and gold roll call presented by Zatarans.
Hello from Guatemala. Go Saints!
Kia ora everybody, a big fan of the Saints all the way from Auckland, New Zealand. So, go the Saints.
What's up? Staff Sergeant Rivas. I'm stationed right now in Columbia, Missouri, recruiting for the United States Army. Go Saints.
What's up everybody, Landon here from Andrew, North Carolina. Rooting for them Saints and Drew Brees with the Drew Brees birth fund. Let's go Saints!
This is Drake and Kyla from Metairie, Louisiana, cheering on our boys in the Dome from home.
This is Patois Kitchen checking in from Uptown. Go Saints!
Saints!
We'll take you back inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for warm-ups in just a bit, but first let's take a look back at last week's win over the Bucks in our WWL Black and Gold recap. Saints fans are still riding high after the blowout win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The team dominated on both sides of the ball for all 4 quarters. Drew Brees completed 26 of 32 passes for 222 yards and 4 scores to 4 different receivers. The defense put on a show of its own. They picked off Tom Brady 3 times. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson is having a rock star year. He was relentless, sacking the Bucs quarterback twice. The Saints also extended their streak of games without giving up more than 100 yards to an individual player. That streak extends to 51, which ties the longest such streak in NFL history. Certainly wouldn't mind another performance like that one today in the Dome as the Saints face the hobbled San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's season has been defined by injuries. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, tight end George Kittle, defensive back Richard Sherman, and defensive end Nick Bose are all on IR. Nick Mullins will be under center for the Niners this week. Mullins struggled against the Packers last Thursday night. He was 22 of 35 for 291 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. But despite being plagued by injuries, Saints players know they'd be wise not to overlook this team. Here's what they're saying in the Bose soundbites of the week.
No, I mean, I feel like he came in and picked up the defense really quickly. Him and Coach Hodges spent a lot of time together. They've done an incredible job. Of course, I'll probably be responsible for making a lot more of the checks on the field and just helping him with like a few of those. But I mean, he's a really smart guy. He's a veteran in the game, so I think he'll be able to come in and a lot of the things that we're doing is probably similar to a lot of the things that he's done before.
Man, I mean, it's definitely valuable because at the end of the day, people talk about, oh, why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? But teams still have to stop it. You can know they know when Drew lines up at quarterback, there's a possibility he's going to throw the ball. And when Taysom lines up, he can throw the ball. They think he's going to run it. They got to stop both. They got to figure out what to do with him. And it's something that I think adds it's an asset to our game plan week in and week out. So, it's just about execution, I mean, a negative play, it is what it is. We play football. We got to keep moving. And he does a great job, no matter the outcome. But, he like I said, he's an asset to our offense.
It was electrifying, but it was a lot of San Francisco fans in there too. That dome was rocking, but every single time that I play in the dome, like it be rocking, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to play in New Orleans. The reason why I signed here is because I want to play in the Superdome in front of that crowd, man. It was just electrifying. So hopefully I'll be able to see that at some point. But definitely that game last year was crazy. That game was probably the greatest game I've played in. That obviously I played in Super Bowls or whatever, but just from an offensive play calling standpoint of 2 coaches going at it like it's Madden, it was unbelievable to be a part of and to watch.
I know this. They're very well coached and they've got great leadership, and they still have a bunch of great players. Obviously, they're short a few guys that were key guys from last year, but I think just like any team, you have young guys that have to step up and play and contribute and be able to execute the scheme. And I think despite the injuries that they've had guys that have done a good job doing that.
The players have weighed in. Now it's your turn. It's time for Look Who's Tweeting, presented by Cox. First up, Field Yates has a message for the Saints social media team.
Well, I have an announcement to make,
Yes,
and
sir.
I think it's important. The Saints social media team, and I want everybody to hear this loud and clear, is one of the top 2 in the NFL, and it ain't 2. Let me just put that out there.
Field Yates' mom clearly did not raise no fools. Field Yates has seen every social media team in the NFL. He stated his opinion, and I ain't mad at it.
Neither is Demario Davis, who in fact tweeted in follow-up to that tweet. He said, "Say it again for the people in the back." Quite right for a Sunday. Everybody gets excited for Saints on Sunday, including Saints legends. And today we have one joining us on the show and his son. It is tight end Benjamin Watson and his son Isaiah. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Doing well. Good to see you.
Guys, I have to ask you, a huge statement win from the Saints last week over the Bucs. What was your immediate reaction? Ben, will ask you first, and then to your son, Isaiah.
Well, I was like everybody, I think, really surprised. I mean, an amazing outburst of offense, but the defense played well too. I mean, anytime you're playing against Tom Brady and you're able to shut him down, you're able to force turnovers, interceptions, that's what you want. I think that was a blueprint hallmark win for the Saints, something I know they hope they replicate today against the 49ers.
I couldn't believe that the Saints got 31 points in the first half.
Isaiah, you're absolutely correct. I don't think any of us could believe that they got 31 in the first half. But Benjamin, what did you see specifically defensively? Because the Saints had some struggles, especially penalty-wise down the field against receivers, pass interference penalties, and those kinds of things. Did you see anything specifically that you believe they cleaned up and can carry on?
Well, you know, a lot of defensive back play has to do with pass rush. That's no secret. We all know that. And so when I watched the game, they got Tom Brady off the spot a lot. I saw Trey Hendrickson getting sacks. I saw Cam obviously doing what Cam does, but they were able to push the pocket. They were able to create a lot of pressure and havoc. And anytime a quarterback has his own offensive lineman in his lap and he can't step up and throw, he's going to throw interceptions. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Dan Marino, Joe Montana, the list goes on and on. Whenever there's that type of pressure, it allows the defenders, the defensive backs, to really do their job and run around with those receivers. You know, you got Antonio Brown out there and you're chasing him, but if you got pressure on the quarterback, it makes their job a lot easier.
You know, when you think about what the Saints were able to do offensively in that game, 12 different receivers caught a pass in that game. Ben, you've been a part of this offense. You understand what the ball distribution can look like, but when it's of that degree, how difficult does it make it on an opposing defense?
It's very difficult because, you know, for the Saints, they've always had, well, not always, but I would say in my recollection, a prolific offense. They've had a lot of weapons, tight end position, wide receiver position, running back position, and obviously at quarterback. And so when you're playing defense and you can't just key on one player, it makes it difficult. The other players, whether they are getting the ball or not, require attention. So you've got a guy like Michael Thomas, who led the league, I believe, last year in targets and receptions. He demands attention whether you throw him the ball or not. And so by spreading the ball around, you not only put the defense on their heels, but you also promote confidence within the offense. It's one thing to be an offensive player, and as you mentioned, I've been an offensive player my whole career. Sometimes you know you're getting the ball, and sometimes you have no idea if you're going to get the ball. But if you think you have a chance to get the ball, you run a little bit different. You have a little bit more excitement in what you're doing. And when you spread the ball around a lot, you call different plays for different players. It keeps everyone involved. It keeps morale high in the offense. And it makes it an exciting offense, an exciting game to play in. So it has to be intentional. And I think that actually, kind of along those lines, the fact that Michael Thomas has been out and Emmanuel Sanders has been out, this is actually a good thing, I think, for the Saints offense moving forward. That they've had to use other players. They've had to include other people in what they're doing. And in that way, also developing that talent, getting that talent involved, getting that talent excited, so that as they move forward, look, there's going to be some defense that are going to be able to take some people away. They've got to be able to go to other players.
Ben, you played with Drew for a really long time. Do you think he's done enough over this first part of the season to silence his critics?
I got to New Orleans, we got to New Orleans, Isaiah, in 2013. And in 2013, I was in year 10. Drew must have been in year 11, 12 maybe. And people already then were talking about, man, the window's closing. He only has so many years left on that arm. He's out here throwing ducks. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I remember someone telling me, a coach telling me, that early in the year, Drew is going to look totally different than he's going to look later in the year. I didn't quite believe it, but that's what I saw. First couple games, he was still a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he didn't look like the Drew Brees that you know. And then there's always a point in the season where he has a hallmark win. He blows the team out, kind of like what happened in Tampa last week. And all of a sudden, the haters are gone, the critics are gone. They say, you know what, this guy has more left in the tank. And that's kind of been his MO as long as I've really been watching. And so for him, he's done plenty, but that's not even what it's about. He's not going out there trying to disprove anyone. he's going out there trying to win football games, and that's what he's doing. I think that the critics want to be the first one to kind of lead the charge when it comes to, oh, you know what, I knew he was falling off. It was this time at this year. So they'll be back next year if he decides to play next year. But he's done plenty. It needs to do no more to quiet any critics.
Isaiah, we know you have a deep understanding of the game. Is it possible for you to give us the 3 keys of the game for the Saints over the 49ers today?
Yes. My first one is mental toughness. The Saints need to know that they're a better team and they will win. My second one is making turnovers. Defense needs to get the ball away. Get the ball away. Yeah. And my third one is Michael Thomas. Since he got out and got injured, he's coming back and fresh.
That's his dude, Michael Thomas.
I'll tell you what, Isaiah, I want you to stay away from New Orleans because I want to keep my job. I don't need you here threatening my position.
Saints legend Ben Watson doing the work on the field and off the field since he stepped foot into the NFL. Ben, Isaiah, first of all, Isaiah, I'm going to echo what JD said. Anytime you want to join me on the pregame show, you can take his job anytime. That was fantastic. Good work, Isaiah. Ben, Isaiah, thanks so much for joining us, and hopefully we get a Saints win today.
Thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity, man. Good job, man.
JD, it's no secret that this Saints team has had to have the next man up mentality. I mean, look at last season when Teddy Bridgewater had to take over for Drew Brees. I mean, it's just their mindset, and it's had to be.
Yeah, it's been next man up. It's been all hands on deck. The Saints have been shorthanded. They've been missing starters from game to game, and especially in the receiving corps with Michael Thomas missing 6 games and Emmanuel Sanders missing a couple. And that has meant players like rookie Marquez Callaway has had to step in and really be ready. Marquez Callaway did not have an off-season training to go through with the Saints, but he's been able to come in, make his impact shown, and he's really shown up and shown big for the Saints. Here he is in this week's Player Spotlight. We've got rookie receiver Marquez Callaway, the pride of Warner Robins, Georgia, and I got to mention that because I lived in Warner Robins, so all folks from Georgia are good people. 478. Marquez, rookie season, undrafted rookie, but this would be one of the most difficult tasks to pull off in an NFL season, to be an undrafted rookie, not have the OTAs, not have the rookie minicamp, not really have any preseason games to show what you were made of. So what made you believe that this was the team for you?
Well, it was a lot of talk of where I would go, with the different teams that would give me the opportunity. But, with a long decision, sat down, talked with my family, my agent, to see what would be the best fit. And we all came and figured that New Orleans would be the best fit.
Now, you get to New Orleans. What is the welcome to the NFL moment for you? Because we don't get a chance to see everything you guys go through. But was there a certain moment that this was a welcome to the NFL moment for you?
Are we talking about like in practice?
Yeah,
or in the game?
Either one.
Practice, I would say just not having as many reps that you would like to get. Coming from college, if we didn't understand something, we took the time, we went over it, but here, time's an essence, so you don't really have that time. You have to go study it, learn it on your own, and that was I wouldn't say a hard thing or a difficult thing that I had to get used to. It was just, investing more time than what I would normally do in college. And as far as the game, with everything going on, like you said, it's an interesting season we're having. So in the game, my welcoming will probably be when everything started going down, when Mike was injured, he couldn't go out there and play, then having to come in and step up and play in a role that I wasn't really used to or that I thought I wasn't going to get for another chance for a while, having to come in and play a bigger role than what I was expected to.
Was there a specific play where you said, I belong? This tells me I belong here.
I've thought I've had some glimpses, going out there, seeing things. When I first got out there, I could tell you, honestly, my heart was racing, heart was pounding. But, the receivers, I like them a lot because they they've all been in my situation, been in my shoes before, so they told me, just calm down. It's another game. Don't make too much of it, and it's everything what we did in practice. So they really calmed me down. Then the quarterbacks, they made it a lot better by, not getting upset, being patient, and things like that. So going out there, it really was like practice. Going out there, I knew what I was doing, I knew what was going on, and it made the game a lot easier.
Now, folks, the best look at him was probably the Chargers game. You were returner that game. I think Deontay was out. 6 punt returns, 69 yards. 2 kickoff returns, 57 yards. You caught 4 passes, 34 yards. Brought back a couple of kickoffs, and we were like, "What's this? Who is this dude?" But the research tells us that you were also a fantastic returner, obviously, at Tennessee. I had 3 punt returns for touchdowns, 13.6 yard average on punt returns. But as soon as you went out there, was there a hey, do it how you want to do it, be as aggressive as you want to be approach to it?
For the punt return, for the kickoff return, basically he would say it's all my judgment. So obviously if it's over my head, then leave it. But the first one I took out, that was my first kickoff return. I know I shouldn't have brought it out, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out the way. So I went ahead and took it out, and coach said he was fine with my decision, just make it faster, because I hesitated. So just be 100% sure when I did it. So ever since then, I kind of took that and was decisive with everything else that I did.
How anxious are you now for Sunday's game? This team's won 5 straight. You guys seem to be trending, obviously, in the right direction with 5 straight wins, but not just trending in the right direction, playing better and better and better. How anxious are you for this game against the 49ers?
Well, that's what we try to do. Each week we get better and better. We look forward to the next game. So with this last win, we enjoyed it, but now we try to put it behind us and focus on this game. We know they're out with a lot of injuries and stuff, but we can't look at it like that. We got to go out there and basically treat it like any other game. It's the next one, so it's the most important one.
That's Marquez, Callaway, pride of Warner Robins, Georgia. Warner Robins Demons used to beat up on my old high school. That hurt me to have to say that part. But coming to a Saints game near you today against the 49ers. That was rookie receiver Marquez Callaway, an interesting character, and going to be offering the Saints a lot in the future, Caroline.
Absolutely. All right, next up, hot off the presses, our Inactives list presented by Acadian Ambulance. Let's go ahead and take a look for the Saints today. Running back Dwayne Washington, quarterback Ken Crawley, offensive lineman Derek Kelly, defensive end Carl Granderson, and linebacker Chase Hansen, JD.
And the thing you'll notice most, Carolina, is the names not on the list for the Saints. No Michael Thomas, no Emmanuel Sanders, no Marquez Callaway. So all of the Saints are healthy right now. All the principal characters that they will need to win this game and into the future, healthy and active.
We'll have 6,000 strong inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome this afternoon. But for those who can't make it, they're still being bold in black and gold, JD.
Hey, let's go to Marche, Washington in the Irish Channel to see how one family is getting ready for the game.
Hey Saints fans, it's Marche. I'm live in the Irish Channel, ready for your New Orleans Saints to take on the 49ers today in the Dome at 3:25. But first, let's get started with my friends Dixie and Molly. How you doing, ladies?
Doing good. How are you? It's game day.
It's game day and we are ready. So let me ask you, what are you guys cooking today?
We got some jambalaya, Zatarans, of course, naturally, cocktails and carbs, baby.
I love it. Well, I have something for you for Zatarans, but first, let me ask you. So the 49ers are coming to town today at 3:25. We have Kawan Alexander from the 49ers. What do you feel about that?
I think it's great. Now we have 2 from the 49ers, so I think we're going to do a great job today.
Emmanuel Sanders, Kawan, I think we're ready for today. Yeah. Let me show you what Zataran sent you, this amazing fan pack full of goodies. Make sure that you share with me. I think Zataran said that you should share with all of us, right, guys? Yeah. So how do you feel about today's game? We're 6-2, leading the division. We're probably going to take the division, don't you think?
Oh, Saints to the Super Bowl all the way.
If you can give one player a shout out, who would it be and what would you say?
I've got the duo Will Lutz and Morstead because they're always kicking my fantasy. Let's go. Let's do this.
And then what about you?
I'm going to say the whole squad because I love all the boys. So let's go Saints.
Let's go Saints. All right, Saints fans, I'm giving it back to you, Caroline, at the Superdome.
Thanks, Marche. Let's check in with some fans who are checking in themselves for game day with the hashtag Saints Game Day presented by Coke.
Calling all fanatics. Check out this week's item of the game. Go to the Saints mobile app or saintsmobileshop.com to make your purchase. And while you're online, don't forget to set your fantasy lineup. Here are this week's fantasy leaders presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Great food, great stories, and great football memories is what you'll find at Impastado's restaurant in Metairie.
The Italian eatery, first of all, is delicious. I try to go there as often as possible, and I bring my stretchy pants when I do. But Joe Impastado is the owner. He goes back with this team decades, and that's why he's going to show us what his restaurant's all about in My Team, My Town, presented by Tabasco.
I'm Joe Impastado, and this is my team, and this is my town. We make our own pasta. You gotta get the pasta smooth. This takes 1 minute to cook. Came in this country in 1957, and there was no football at all in my life. The only thing I knew was soccer. Then in 1967, in the beginning, when the franchises started to get together, me and a friend of mine, we went to the first football game, and when John Giller returned the kickoff for the touchdown, I said, man, I hope the guy don't do that again. We're gonna die, because the whole stadium was shaking. From then on, I keep on increasing my ticket. I bought a lot of tickets. For over 30 years under Mr. Tom, I was the largest season ticket holder in Louisiana. First photo, Archie Manning. That's the first night he signed up with the Saints. I think it was 71, I think. But just fell in love with the Saints because the relationship I had with all the players. I mean, a lot of the players, Dan Abramowitz, Bill Kilmer was there practically every day, Gary Quazzo, John Gillian. I mean, a lot of the first-year players that were there, and I made friends with it. The player family, because I was there every Sunday after the game. It's me and Martin Cello Spaghetti there. On the Bone Phillip, I used to travel every week out of town with the team. He gave me every football day, that's right there. Every game you won is on the wall back there.
What is that?
That's Tom Dale's shoot. That's how I kick the field goal. But when Tom kicked the field goal, he said, hey, Joe, I need you to give me a table for 20 people at all the Sound. So, okay, Tom, I'll set you up. I was at the game, I said, on the way out. So then he said, Joe, go give Tom the telephone and tell him the President of the United States is calling for him. So when I said, Tom, is the President of the United States calling for you? He says, yes, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. He congratulated him. So all of a sudden, he turned his eyes and said, Dan Abramowitz is talking. He'd like to break my telephone and slamming. Say, Mr. President, you're so-and-so, I can't say the word. And players, here on the wall. And Mr. Thomas, so much history with me and the Saints. It was, there's so many different things that we did. That's all we got in New Orleans. We got the New Orleans Saints. What else do we have? We just love the Saints, and the whole city loved the Saints.
This whole city loves the Saints. You can't argue with that. Another thing we love, being petty, JD. So let's take to the tweets as we go to our trash talk presented by Waste Pro. First up, Saint Warrior Within. OMG at NFL Game Day is now saying we, the Saints, are the best team in the NFC. Please, y'all need to stay with your Go Bucks or hashtag Lamar Jackson. Leave us out of your conversations.
Saint Warrior Within, come on, man. If you got it, strut it, flaunt it, show it. Don't be bashful. The Saints are a good team. Everybody knows it. They're not sneaking up on anybody. We knew that coming into the season. So flex, man, flex.
All right, next up we have from @PeaceBeWithYou9, love that. Hashtag Saints Game Day, hashtag Saints. Who we playing again? Gotta love that petty picture.
Black Butterfly, you know me, right? Because that's my kind of petty. I like that. I like that a lot. You keep them coming next week.
Saints fans, don't forget you can win big today no matter what happens on the field. How? Open up the Saints app and play Extra Downs, presented by America's Card Room. You'll see questions like this one. How many receptions will Emmanuel Sanders have against his former team in today's game? Check out the options right there on your screen. Then head to the Saints mobile app to play for a chance to win $1,000. And there's even more ways to get paid with Harrah's Spin to Win. If the Saints complete 20 passes against that Niners defense, fans will be able to visit Harrah's within 7 days to redeem $20 in free slot play.
Time now for another one of our favorite Saints game day traditions.
Take a look at this week's People's Health Champion.
Through decades of helping people with Medicare, People's Health has seen people over 65 accomplish extraordinary things, like champion Richard Dickey Longo.
In 2017, Richard Dickey Longo celebrated his 80th birthday by running in a 5K race. He finished first in his age group.
I ran 55 races last year. I run every day between 4 and 5 miles. I haven't missed a day of running in the last 7 years.
Not only does he run regularly, he's on a mission to help others enjoy the benefits of running. He even provides running shoes to get people started. He's given away over 200 pairs of shoes.
That's how I help people get into running and stay into running, because I think it's so healthy. I think the best thing you can do for your health is to go start a running program.
Mr. Longo, that's what makes you a People's Health champion. Congratulations.
People's Health and the New Orleans Saints congratulate Dickey Longo, your People's Health champion.
Here's another game day tradition we know and love, the 50-50 raffle. Today's 50-50 raffle benefits the Saints and Pelicans Gulf Coast Renewal Fund. Go to NewOrleansSaints.com for more information and to purchase tickets. The winner will be announced in the fourth quarter of today's game.
Okay, JD, we haven't been exactly right on these before, but I have a feeling this is the week. It's time for our score predictions fueled by Chevron. I'm going 37-20 with the Saints win over the Niners.
Ooh, that's a big gap for you. I'm going 31-23 Saints. I believe San Francisco is going to manufacture a few points, but I do believe, obviously, that the Saints are going to win. But we're not the only ones who've got opinions on this game. Check this out.
Hey, Saints Nation, it's Jonathan Silverman.
And Jen Finnegan.
And we are in very freezy, snowy Nova Scotia, Canada.
We are.
But
we don't have our Saints gear on, which is so lame. We actually have so much at home, but right now we're in a dark, dank trailer. But we had to do this.
Let's win. Let's win today.
We're almost to kickoff, Saints fans. A reminder, you can tune into the game on Fox at 3:25 p.m. Central. Another reminder, we'll be back right here for your Saints post-game show presented by Mercedes-Benz. We'll have the live press conferences of Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and whatever other player wants to come to the podium. So make sure you tune in right here following the game. For Caroline Gonzalez, John DeShazier, thanks so much for joining us. Let's get hyped, Saints fans.
Party going up, the party going up, party going up, the party going up, party going up, the party going up.
Better go get it. Better get it, better go get it. Better get it, go get it, what you waiting for? Better get it, better go get it. Go get it, go claim it, what you waiting for? Keep winning, keep spinning, adding to the digits, popping while I'm sipping. Go get her, mo to the pot, go get her, I'ma stash me a lot. Keep spinning, foot tripping, trick tipping, all-star vision, add more digits, exclusive with the business, always winning, better go get it.
Where my down south brothers, where my down south sisters, my down south sisters. It's getting hot in here, it's getting hot in here, it's getting hot in here.
Better go